Hey everyone, welcome back to your favorite pirate crew. Today we are going to talk about Luffy's Conqueror's Haki. If you would like to see more about One Piece in our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our pirate crew. But pirates, before we continue with the video, I ask that you already subscribe to our channel, that way you will join our pirate crew and earn a devil fruit or master your favorite Haki. It would also help our crew a lot if you leave your thumbs up on today's video, so together we can become Yonkos. Now let's continue with today's video. We well know, and it was also officially proven to us by the One Piece manga itself, that Akuma's no Mi are no match for the power of Haki. This ability to control, improve, and perfect your attacks and defenses can actually become something quite threatening. Otherwise, making someone who has good control of all kinds almost invincible. Haki was introduced until recently in One Piece, but slowly, it was worked on and explored as something quite inclined to adapt to its user. We even saw our captain of the Straw Hat Pirates using Haki in combat. This ability made him capable of facing very powerful opponents, and even, together with his other powers, made him capable of fighting Yonkos, pirates considered the most powerful in the world. But do you remember when Luffy started using Haki? Well, in case you don't, or if you vaguely remember, in today's video we'll take a closer look at the Straw Hat's use of this ability throughout the history of One Piece. Shortly before the time skip, Luffy had awakened the ability known as Haki, being one of the few known people capable of using all three types. Luffy was identified to possess this mysterious ability by Blackbeard after their first encounter in Jaya. First showed the ability to use it when he knocked out Durval's horse, Motobaro, without actually hitting him. Since then, he has shown increased but uneven use, with little or no control, as the series continued. Leaving Impel down after Ace was sent to Marineford, Luffy encountered Blackbeard, who noted that Luffy's Haki had increased since their first encounter in Jaya. The fourth time Luffy unleashed his Haki was at Marineford when he saw Ace about to be executed. It was then that Ace and the Marines learned of his possession of House Hoku Haki. This made him even more of a threat to the government. After the Marineford War, Luffy decided to train with Silver's Luffy managed to learn the basics of Haki within a year and a half, although Rayleigh planned to spend the entire 2 years teaching him. Since reuniting with his team, Luffy has been shown consciously, actively, and easily using Haki in combat. It should be noted that Luffy possesses what is considered a large amount of Haki. The captain of the Straw Hats is able to use House Hoku Haki, a type of Haki possessed by only 1 in a million people. He used this ability several times in the series, being the first type of Haki he manifested. The first time Luffy was identified as possessing this type of Haki was when he stopped Boa Sandersonia from crushing a petrified Marguerite, although he first showed possession of this type of Haki when he scared off Durval's horse. When he protected Bentham from being attacked by wolves at level 5 and Impel down, Luffy unconsciously released his Haki. In the war in Marineford, he also used another burst of House Hoku Haki when he saw Ace about to be executed, which knocked out many individuals, both Marines and pirates. This made it clear that Luffy, putting aside his identity as the son of the Revolutionary Dragon, is also a serious threat as a pirate just by possessing House Hoku Haki. Before being trained by Rayleigh, Luffy demonstrated no control over this ability, and didn't seem to realize he had it, but used it on instinct whenever it seemed most necessary, and could still use it even when extremely injured. With this training, Luffy demonstrated the ability to focus his House Hoku Haki, knocking out a small group with a quick glance without affecting anyone. One ability of Luffy's House Hoku is that he can tame large animals, as he was able to tame all the animals of the Rusukena and tame the Kraken, which he did with great success in a very short time. Until the fight with the new Fishman pirates, Luffy used only House Hoku when he needed to get people out of the way with minimal damage. The true extent of Luffy's Haki is seen when he takes out 50,000 of Hody Jones' henchmen. During his fight with Chinjao during the Colosseum race tournament, the two unleashed a powerful wave of House Hoku when they clashed. In preventing Doflamingo from killing Law, both Luffy and Doflamingo used House Hoku, which injured Law and drew the attention of many as it caused damage to the area. His Haki became Luffy's specialty. Luffy instinctively used Kanbunshoku Haki during the war in Marineford when he was about to attack Dracula Mihawk, but then stopped himself when he predicted that his hands would be cut off if he continued the attack. Since training with Silver's Rayleigh, Luffy had gained incredible proficiency, allowing him to predict what an opponent intends to do. Able to effortlessly dodge a bullet shot at close range from Demaro Black, as well as laser projectiles fired by a pacifist, commenting that the latter attack was too slow. Great proficiency with this skill is really shown when he was able to completely avoid Hody Jones' Yabusame effortlessly. He was also able to dodge some of Katakuri's attacks using his precognition, although most of the attacks hit, despite the latter being an extremely skilled master of Kanbunshoku, which Katakuri noted as being somewhat rare. Luffy was also shown to be able to discern Caribou's presence within the Ryugu Palace. In Punk Hazard, he was able to sense the Yeti Cool brothers attacking Chopper and Nami. He was able to sense that Rebecca had no true intention of killing him, even when she was attacking him. During the Colosseum race in Block C in Battle Royal, he was able to successfully dodge all the weapons that Jean Ango threw at him at high speed. He can also use the ability to measure an individual's strength as seen when he complimented Duke Inuarashi's strength at a glance. After pushing his Kanbunshoku Haki to its peak during his fight against Katakuri, Luffy gained the ability to see into the future on a limited basis. With Katakuri noticing that the level of Luffy's Kanbunshoku was reaching his own, Luffy learned to use Byusohoku Haki during the time skip. He regularly uses it in combat to increase the power of his attacks and blocks, and is now able to attack Logia users like Caesar Clown and those with Logia-like powers like Katakuri. His Gear 4th mode uses Byusohoku Haki heavily to the point of exhausting it in a relatively short period of time. In the new world, Byusohoku Haki has been a major up on Luffy, as he is greatly weakened whenever he is unable to use it. He had no hope of defeat until his Haki was recharged, and while his Haki was not recharged, he was not able to destroy Charlotte Prospero's candy wall even with Gear 3rd. Luffy's Byusohoku Haki has the potential to be strengthened, as he has faced opponents with a stronger caliber of Haki than him, such as Charlotte Cracker and Katakuri. While in Udon, Luffy began increasing the level of his Byusohoku Haki to damage Kaido's extremely tough body, after recalling how Silver's Rayleigh was able to repel an elephant attack on Rusukena without touching it. In the midst of an instruction to learn a technique called Ryu in Huana where you project your Haki at close range as a defense repelling attacks and also as an attack channeling Haki into the body of your targets destroying from the inside out, Luffy managed to master it inadvertently. This happened during a desperate attempt to rip the explosive death collars off himself and Hyogoro. After training tirelessly non-stop for a week under Hyogoro's supervision, hitting a block of thick steel with Haki-enhanced punches, Luffy now seems to be able to emit his Byusohoku Haki at will, as seen when he was able to punch a hole through the opposite side of a tree by emitting Haki from his hardened fist. He was later seen to be able to remove Yamato's explosive handcuffs by destroying them from the inside out, showing conscious control over this high-grade Byusohoku technique, just as Rayleigh did when removing Kami's explosive collars. Among his main attacks with Haki, we can mention Byusohoku, Koka, which literally means color of armaments, hardening. In it, Luffy uses Byusohoku Haki to harden his body, or parts of it. It was first used against Kraken in conjunction with Gear 3rd to harden his extended arm to the point where it reaches a completely dark and glowing appearance in order to use his Gomu Gomu no Elephant Gun. We also have the Atama Byuso, which means head armament. With it, Luffy impregnates his forehead with Byusohoku Haki to harden it. It is first used in preparation for the Gomu Gomu no Kane against the Iron Shell Squadron. Lastly, we can remember Gear 2nd Byuso, a name that means Gear 2nd Armament. Luffy impregnates his fist with Byusohoku Haki while under the effect of Gear 2nd to harden it, which also seems to have the additional effect of inflaming it. It was first used in preparation for Gomu Gomu no Red Hawk against Hody Jones. The fact is that Haki is an ability that few can learn to use, let alone perfect and pair it perfectly with their combat style. Most of the time the user always tries to use his type to the maximum, with few people learning 2, let alone 3 models of Haki. Luffy is, without a doubt, a candidate to become one of the most powerful pirates ever in the history of One Piece. At this point, he is already strong and tough enough to take on Yonkos, having single-handedly defeated Kaido in a long fight. And we expect even more from him in this final saga. What will be the peak of his powers? Will we have, perhaps, a Gear 6? Will he be able to stand up to Shanks in his current state? Let us know in the comments how powerful you think Luffy will become. That's it, my Straw Hat Pirate. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for a video, don't forget to comment below, because I'll be reading them all as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your pirate crew.